If you're currently hovering your mouse over the buy button for an Apple TV 4K, or if you're planning to head to the Apple Store this weekend to pick one up, you need to stop what you are doing right now. Put the wallet away and pay close attention because we are tracking a massive shift in Apple's living room strategy. Multiple leaks, hidden code references deep inside Apple's own software, and reliable analyst reports are all converging on one massive truth. Apple is working on its most significant TV hardware refresh in years. We are calling it the Apple TV 4K 2025, and if even half of the leaks we have uncovered are true, this is going to completely redefine what that little black puck on your television is capable of. In this video, we're going to dive deep into every single rumor. We're talking about the release window that insiders are whispering about, the powerful new chip that could turn this into a real gaming console, and a redesigned remote that has literally been spotted in the code. We also need to talk about Apple's secret plan to turn the Apple TV into the ultimate smart home brain, potentially with a radical new hybrid device. Stick around until the very end, because I'm going to give you the definitive answer on whether you should buy the current model today or if waiting for the next generation is the only smart move. First, let's bring everyone up to speed with a quick reality check on the current landscape. The Apple TV 4K that you can buy on shelves right now is the third generation model, and it was released back in 2022. In the world of tech, 3 years is a lifetime. It runs on a 15 Bionic chip, which is a fantastic processor, and it supports all the standards you care about like 4K HDR, Dolby Vision, and Dolby Atmos. It is arguably the best streaming box on the market today. However, in Apple years, a device that hasn't seen love in a few cycles starts to show its age, especially when you look at where the software is going. tvOS is getting heavier. Apple is pushing features like FaceTime on your TV, advanced screensavers, and high-fidelity gaming via Apple Arcade. The current hardware handles it fine, but it is reaching its ceiling. This pressure is exactly why the leak community is buzzing about the successor. When it comes to the release date, the timeline has shifted, and you need to know why so you don't get your hopes up too early. The most reliable voices in the industry, including insiders like Mark Gurman and supply chain analysts like Ming-Chi Kuo, have both reported that a new Apple TV is deep in the pipeline. Originally, the expectation was that we would see this device sometime in late 2024. Obviously, that window has stretched, and the conversation has now firmly shifted toward a 2025 release. Apple typically likes to drop these home entertainment updates quietly alongside other major products. We are looking at a potential spring announcement, or perhaps a launch in the fall alongside the new iPhones. If you're watching this and an Apple event is coming up, that is the moment to pay very close attention. Now, let's get into the guts of the machine. What exactly would a 2025 Apple TV 4K change that makes it worth waiting for? The biggest upgrade, and the one that almost every leaker agrees on, is the silicon. The heart of the machine is due for a transplant. Moving from the A15 Bionic to an A16, or potentially even an A17 class chip, is not just about bragging rights on a spec sheet. This update affects how smoothly the interface will run 5 years from now. It dictates how well the device can upscale lower-resolution video content. Most importantly, it signals how serious Apple is getting about console-style gaming. We are talking about a chip that can handle stable 60 frames per second in graphically intensive titles with fewer frame drops. It provides the necessary power headroom for future versions of tvOS and the inevitable integration of Apple's AI features without making the box feel sluggish. Alongside that processing boost, there's growing speculation about a memory and storage overhaul. Right now, the Apple TV 4K tops out at 128 gigabytes. That sounds like a lot for a streaming box, but if you're the type of person who installs a lot of games, downloads big apps, or stores media for offline viewing, that space fills up terrifyingly fast. A bump to 128 gigabytes as the new base model, with a 256 gigabytes option on the high end, would make a massive amount of sense. This is especially true as Apple continues to court game studios to bring native ports of Resident Evil and Assassin's Creed to the platform. You cannot have console-quality games if you only have mobile quality storage. Connectivity is another area where the 2025 model is expected to shine. We're looking at the inclusion of Wi-Fi 6E or even Wi-Fi 7. If you rely on Wi-Fi for your 4K streaming, this is a game changer. It means less buffering, faster start times, and a rock-solid connection for features like remote play from your PlayStation or cloud gaming services. But there's a quieter, nerdier rumor that might actually be the most important one for video enthusiasts: hardware support for the AV1 video codec. If you have ever wondered why some YouTube videos look crisp on your PC, but slightly softer on your TV, the lack of AV1 support is often the culprit. YouTube and Netflix are leaning heavily on this new codec because it is super efficient. Hardware decoding for AV1 in a new Apple TV would mean significantly better picture quality at the same internet speeds. It is not as flashy as 8K resolution, which frankly feels more like a wish list item than a reality right now, given the lack of content. But AV1 support is the kind of upgrade you will actually feel and see every single day. Let's talk about the object you actually touch every day, the remote. For a lot of people, the Siri remote is a love-hate relationship. While the silver aluminum version is better than the old black glass one, it is still far from perfect. This is where we have seen one of the clearest, undeniable signs that new hardware is coming. In recent iOS and tvOS beta builds, developers have gone digging and found references to an unreleased Apple TV remote. They found a brand new model number that simply does not match any existing Siri remote in Apple's inventory. Apple does not add new hardware identifiers to their shipping software for fun. That almost always means a device is in late-stage testing. The most logical explanation is that this redesigned remote will ship in the box with the next-generation Apple TV. So, what would a new remote actually bring to the table? The number one feature on everyone's list is Find My support. The fact that you can track your keys, your backpack, and your cat with an AirTag, but you lose your Apple TV remote in the couch cushions and have no way to find it, is ridiculous. A remote with a U1 ultra-wideband chip inside for precision finding is a very safe bet. Beyond that, it wouldn't be surprising to see Apple refine the ergonomics, maybe make the buttons slightly larger or finally add backlighting so you can actually see the controls during movie night. The leaks around Apple TV Remote 4.1 strongly suggest that you won't be stuck with the current design forever. To really understand where Apple is headed, you have to look beyond just the hardware specs and look at the software trajectory. tvOS is evolving from a simple app launcher into a media brain. Recent updates have brought FaceTime to the TV using your iPhone as a webcam. They added Insight, which tells you which actor is on screen and what song is playing in real time. They improved dialogue enhancement, so you don't need subtitles just to understand whispered lines in movies. All of this points toward the Apple TV becoming a hub that knows what you are watching, knows who is in the room, and knows what you care about. This leads us directly to the buzzing topic of artificial intelligence. Apple Intelligence is rolling out across the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. While it hasn't fully taken over the TV yet, the direction is obvious. We are expecting smarter recommendations that actually feel personal rather than generic algorithms. We expect voice controls via Siri that understand natural language and context. We might even see local processing for things like recognizing faces in your iCloud photo library or analyzing your home security camera feeds without sending that data to the cloud. For that kind of intelligence to run smoothly, the current A15 chip might struggle, which makes the upgrade to an A17 class processor essential. Now, let's get into the wildest, most exciting rumor that refuses to die: the all-in-one home device. Multiple credible reports have stated that Apple has been exploring a hybrid product that combines the Apple TV, a HomePod-style smart speaker, and a camera into a single device. Picture a high-end soundbar or a compact speaker that sits under your TV. It handles all your streaming with a powerful Apple TV interface. It gives you room-filling Dolby Atmos audio, so you don't need extra speakers. It acts as your smart home hub for Matter and HomeKit. And it has a built-in camera that tracks you for FaceTime calls or even gesture controls. Apple has been experimenting with this concept for years in their labs. Whether this is the 2025 product or something that comes a little further down the road is unclear, but it fits perfectly with Apple's ambition to own the living room. All of this technology also ties into Apple's massive push for live sports. They have the MLS Season Pass. They have Friday Night Baseball. There are constant rumors about them bidding for NBA or Formula One rights. A more powerful Apple TV with better multi-view capabilities, rock-solid networking, and a remote designed for quick navigation would strengthen Apple's pitch as the ultimate box for sports fans who have cut the cord. Now let's talk about the price. The current Apple TV 4K sits in that $129 to $149 range in the US. Apple has been under immense pressure to make this thing cheaper to compete with the $40 Roku sticks and Fire TV dongles. One strategy would be to keep the current third-gen model around at a price drop, maybe $99, and slide the new, powerful 2025 model in at the $149 price point. Another strategy hinted at by some analysts is an even more affordable Apple TV stick, but that rumor has cooled off recently. For 2025, the safest bet is a refresh box at roughly the same premium price point we are used to, offering a pro experience compared to the competitors. That brings us to the ultimate question. Should you buy now, or should you wait? If your current setup is a nightmare, maybe you're using a smart TV interface that is slow and loaded with ads, or you're using an ancient HD streamer that buffers constantly, then honestly, the current Apple TV 4K is still a phenomenal purchase. It is fast, it receives regular updates, and it is a joy to use. You won't regret buying it. However, if you're a gamer, if you are an Apple ecosystem fanatic, or if you want to future-proof your home for the next 5 years, waiting is the smart move. The jump to a new chip, the addition of AV1 decoding, the potential for a Find My Remote, and the readiness for Apple Intelligence make the 2025 model a significant leap forward. You'll be buying a device that is ready for the future rather than a device that is at the end of its cycle. If you're not in a rush, my advice is to hold your fire. Wait for the next major Apple event. If they announce the new box, you win. If they don't, the current model might see a discount, and you still win. The living room is the next battleground for tech, and Apple is clearly sharpening its weapons. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the leaks and want to stay updated on every single rumor as we get closer to the launch, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Share this video with your friends who are thinking about upgrading their TV setup so they don't make a mistake. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you're the first to know when the official news drops. In my honest opinion, the Apple TV 4K 2025 is the update that will finally justify the premium price tag of the device. While the current model is great for streaming, the addition of an A17 class chip and AV1 support transforms it from a luxury streamer into a legitimate budget gaming console and a high-end media server. The real game changer, however, will be the remote. If Apple finally integrates Find My into the remote, that feature alone is worth the upgrade cost for any family with kids or a deep couch. It solves the single biggest annoyance of the user experience. This isn't just a spec bump, it's a quality of life overhaul.